Well, hello there. I guess we're live now. Welcome back. It's been a while. You're looking at the Trance project, the 8-part start to finish Trance project. And I kind of took a little break. Well, I didn't take a break from the track. I took a break from the YouTube videos. And I just want to kind of reiterate what this whole experiment really was. To me, it was putting the pressure on myself, producing a track in real time, knowing with the knowledge that someone will be watching the video in the future. In other words, being under a microscope, a deadline, having to get it done, an hour, 45-minute to hour blocks of time. And what it did, that pressure, it kind of revealed. And well, first of all, I just want you guys to know out there, and gals to know, that I am learning this whole process myself. I am by no means a professional producer. I have a day job that takes most of my time. And so the time that I do get to spend producing is limited, a lot from fatigue, and a lot of it is just not enough time in the day. But what it did, this series of videos, it was 8 parts, and this is part number 9, I believe. What it did is it revealed my weaknesses, places where I need to improve, and they're pretty important areas. So I want to go over them with you. And first, I just want to kind of skip through the track and just kind of play it, and because I've added some vocals here and did some little tweaks here. So the track is finished as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to do any more type start to finish live production on this. This track's done. And I've got these vocals here, and you can hear the vocals come in, and I may go over them and they're little vocal chops. I've gone over those before. So here, I'm just going to start playing. Here we go. Okay, and so then it goes into the rather short outro, and that's where we are, or that's where I'm at with this track. And this whole process, the idea of producing something live with the camera rolling through 8 episodes, rather long episodes, YouTube videos, that pressure revealed some weaknesses. And so I've took, the realizations that I had, and I did something about it. I went and hired a mentor, a very well-known mentor. Not going to say his name. You can investigate without too much trouble. Anjuna Beats. That's the only clue I'm going to give you. Did a couple sessions with him. He gave me a few pointers, which called attention to some of the areas of concern with my level of skill. Other things that I noticed was that, and one of the things that the mentor said was, it's important to get things set up to where when you're ready to make music, you can make music without a bunch of stumbling blocks. And so that, my first weakness is my workflow. My workflow is full of stumbling blocks. I have to stop and just kind of fiddle around with this and fiddle around with that. I don't have all of the techniques mastered that I need to in order to just get flowing right through the idea and get it up on the canvas, so to speak, get it up on the screen. And another thing that I noticed was that if I'm developing a song idea, that I have a little bit of struggle with familiarity with music theory. I understand music theory. I understand the root notes and the thirds and the fifths and chords and whatnot, but not well enough. I don't have a mastery, and that comes from practice, study and practice, and I just need to buckle down and redouble my efforts in that area. Another area, point number 3, is unorganized samples. I'm fumbling through trying to find samples and dragging them in and trying them out, see how that sounds. And that's just not the way to do it. In other words, I'm going to my Finder, then going to my sample libraries, and then I'm going through all my sample libraries and, trying to find a, for example, go to my Hyperbits and I'm trying to find, say, a hi-hat. So I'm just going through and listening to hi-hats. That's a waste of time. When what I could be doing is having everything set up in plugins. Like, for example, with Logic, it would be either Ultrabeat or, better yet, the ESX24. I also heard that Drum Designer is a good way to go. You can load samples in Drum Designer, and you can also do it in Native Instruments Battery. And then I have a kind of shallow knowledge of a lot of plugins, but I don't know one single plugin front to back. And I think that anybody who's been in music production has heard that you want to know one or two plugins really, really well. And yeah, I know a couple EQ plugins and reverb plugins, and I know Silence pretty well from just kind of like an intermediate standpoint. Certainly not from a sound design standpoint, a level of sophistication. But then again, that gets back to workflow. Why do I want to spend, and I'm going to get into another point in a second. I'm going to pull up a different project. Why do I want to spend a bunch of time designing sounds? Why don't I learn to just really get in and do some deep tweaking, really know each plugin, the plugins that I like to use the most, really get to know them really deep, but rely on presets, adjusting presets. I think that's the way to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little break here, and I'll be right back with a different project, and I'll elaborate on what I've been working on. Okay, so here we are with a different project. This is a template that I created after the first session with my mentor, and I was urged to come up with a template. These are all empty regions up here, but each one of these slots has an instrument, a sound that I think's cool. Ready to go. I got some pad sounds, I got lead sounds, I've got arps, I've got kicks, I've got a reference track here. This is Atlas by Jason Ross, and I also have it diagrammed out with markers. So I have kind of like the pre-build, the build, then the full intro to the song, unwind to the breakdown, bridge / build, then the drop. Surprisingly, how short the drop was. It's the same. The drop is the same length as the. See, I'm this was all a revelation, diagramming, Atlas. That the meat of the intro was the same length as the drop. And then you have a break, which is a fall into the full outro, and then the diminishing outro, and then the tail of the song. So it's pretty straightforward template. I'm obviously going to have different templates for different song ideas. This can be modified. So, for example, I've got a kick here. I've got a filter kick for the 2 sections of the intro. Then I have a full-on kick. I've got a little percussion loop just to get some sense of time. I've got clap sounds here. Now this is on the ESX24 and also on the ESX24. In fact, I'm going to come down here. What I did here, got a section for closed hat, but I just threw an ultra beat in here. I'm going to switch that to the ESX24 because what I have done is I have loaded. Let's see if I can find it here. Some hi-hats. Although these are open hats, so I'm just going to undo that. So this would allow me to load. Let's see, what do I have in here now? I've got some hi-hats in here. So that I can just go in here and then draw in some hi-hats if I wanted to. And then claps, I can come in here and delete one region. Just play some claps in, but you get the idea here. So, and then down here I have some snares. Got some basses. So the idea is to have some sounds ready so you can get your idea in, or I can get my idea in really quick. So still a work in progress. My journey of learning to become a producer and hopefully getting some more tracks signed is an ongoing process. So those are the areas of concern, which would be workflow, music theory, organizing the samples, and then getting to know really well, gets a handful of plugins really well. And I think that is going to be my New Year's resolution. And I think that what I will do on the channel is I will keep updated with the progress, what plugin that I learn, what have I done with my workflow, what have I learned that I feel is worth sharing on music theory, and so on. So that's just about what I have for you today, and I thank you for watching. And if you like this series of videos and you're looking forward to more, just hit that subscribe button and hit the like button on this video if you enjoyed it. And thank you very much. And have a good one. Thank you.